Hey everyone, welcome to Plants and Politics. I have an update on one of Trump's terrorists, and you all know what that means. It's time for a Plants and Politics episode of Where Are They Now?
Matthew Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
So, Cleveland Meredith, he is the 52-year-old Colorado resident with hair like a mad scientist, and he's been locked up since his arrest on January 7th because he seems to be kind of dangerous. Meredith has since been indicted, and he now faces increased charges and penalties, which I'll go into in a moment. But here's the deal. He didn't actually take part in the January 6th domestic terrorist attack at the Capitol because he arrived too late. His first charge, however, is related to messages that he sent to friends saying things like, quote, hauling ass 3.5 hours from target practice, ready to remove several craniums from shoulders, and I'm going to collect a shit ton of traitors' heads. He also specifically threatened people like the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. He said, quote, thinking about heading over to Pelosi C-word speech and putting a bullet in her noggin on live TV. And no, he didn't say C-word. He actually used the word. See you next Tuesday. He also said, quote, I'm going to run that C-word Pelosi over while she chews her gums, dead bitch walking. Then he also threatened the DC mayor saying, quote, I may wander over to the mayor's office and put a 5.56 in her skull, FKG C-word. This guy loves the C-word, apparently. I hope he doesn't have any daughters because he seems to be a little misogynistic. And you notice how he didn't threaten any men? You notice how these guys, these tough guys, they've got all their guns because they feel insecure and they feel powerless without a gun. The only people that they seem to have anything negative to say about, or the people who they threaten and want to go after, are all women. Funny how they don't have the ovaries to go after men. But now, after all of this, after all of his tough talk, Meredith says he was just kidding. His lawyer, in fact, pointed to one of his other messages to prove that this was just fun and games. He was just being a joker. Apparently, after texting these threats, he also texted his friend saying, quote, LOL, I'm just having fun. Yeah, he's a real comedian, this guy. I can't wait to catch his stand-up show on HBO. It's going to be hilarious. The only funny thing about this is that he thought that the judge would buy it, because the glaring problem with Meredith's defense, and the reason the judge didn't buy it, is the fact that he drove to DC with multiple weapons and a shit ton of ammunition. He took a Glock, a 9mm pistol, a rifle with a telescopic sight mounted on it, high-capacity magazines, and over 2,500 rounds of ammunition, including 320 rounds that were capable of piercing body armor. So he has now been indicted for interstate communication of threats, possession of unregistered firearms, possession of unregistered ammunition, and possession of large capacity ammunition. So those 4 charges alone carry a maximum penalty of up to 19 years in prison and or fines. And in a hearing this week, Judge Amy Berman Jackson called him out on all of this BS, and she said that his statements weren't funny. She also called out Trump and his allies, saying, quote, 6 months later, the canard that the election was stolen is being repeated daily on major news outlets and from the corridors of power in state and federal government, not to mention in the near daily fulminations of the former president. So it seems like these MAGA terrorists can thank Trump twice. They can thank him for lying to them for months on end about the election being stolen and initially inciting the attack. But for that, they wouldn't have been there. And then now they can thank him for keeping them in prison because he continues to spew these lies. And this isn't the first time a judge has pointed to Donald Trump and the Republicans' continued lies about the election as a reason for holding these people in prison. And it's a good reason, right? I mean, if the lies got them there in the first place and the lies are continuing, they're obviously going to, if they're out of prison, out of jail, they're going to keep hearing those lies. And if they were so spun by those lies to begin with that they went ballistic like this and committed these crimes, brought weapons and ammunition, planned on murdering people, are they going to do anything different now? Nothing has changed. I'll keep you posted. As always, thanks for watching and listening. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.